a lot of people just make swimming too complicated. How does Leon Marchand go 50 meters underwater in his 400 IM after swimming 350 meters already? How is that possible? Well, I can promise you, chances are you're wasting your time.
How do you master this fifth stroke? Because it is faster than the front crawl, faster than butterfly, faster than backstroke, way faster than breaststroke. So if you are a swimmer and you are trying to get better at the underwater dolphin kick, this is exactly what you need to do.
Well, first of all, Faris, why is there a 50-meter limitation on every single race apart from breaststroke that we do in swimming?
Because it's so fast. We want to see swimming. So if you spend the whole time underwater, which is the fastest stroke, we're not going to see any swimming. So it's probably a good idea to maximize your first 15 meters and leverage the underwater speed, because that's what you're allowed to do.
Thank you. In regards to making your underwaters better, of course, there's a lot of flexibility involved. Dry land helps and doing certain exercises helps, but I think the number one thing is practice. There's no magic to it. There's not a pill you can take that's going to make you good at underwaters. Good underwaters come from practice. Again, I see it so often. Well, how does Leon Marchand go 50 meters underwater in his 400 IM after swimming 350 meters already? How is that possible? Well, I can promise you, you watch him in training, he pushes his underwaters on everything that he does. And this is not just his main sets. He gets in, he does his warm-up, he pushes his underwaters. He does his main set, he pushes his underwaters. I promise you, probably even does his swim downs and still pushes his underwaters. Yep. So it's not a case of you trying to do something differently, is just a case of you practicing those things. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, interview, live, show, whatever, you have to make sure you are getting into good habits. So if you are 11 years old and you want to get better at underwaters, start with 3 dolphin kicks, regardless of what you are doing. Butterfly, backstroke, freestyle, do 3 dolphin kicks in every single session. Once you are comfortable doing 3 dolphin kicks, you can then move on to 4. Once you're happy with 4 and can do 4 every single time, then you can move to 5. Like I say, this is how you get better underwaters. Practice, practice, and more practice.
Yeah, and actually I want to add in the science behind this, a little bit more of a mechanical perspective, because everything Leo said is correct. You have to practice it over and over. So while you're practicing it every single day of every set, every workout, you have to make sure that you are mechanically optimizing and making your body as efficient as possible when it moves through the water. So if you take like a fish, for example, or a dolphin, why is a fish so much faster than a human? Like, we as humans are land creatures. We walk with our legs. We can run way faster than we can swim, but a fish can swim way faster than we can run. So why is it? Why is it that a fish can move through a medium that is 800 times more dense than air faster than what we can do on land? And it's because when they're in the water, a fish can leverage its entire body length to create propulsion. So a fish can literally move from the very front of the fish through the end of the tail. It can use every single millimeter of surface area in both directions to propel forward. Now, we as humans, we can't do that because we have joints, we have knees, we have body parts that don't bend in both directions. And so that is automatically going to make us slower. But the best underwater kickers are able to make their body just like a dolphin and maximize every square inch of their body, every square centimeter. They're able to propel in both directions, kicking up and down. And one of those kicks is more powerful than the other, but the faster you can get to the up kick and the down kick, the faster you're going to be underwater. And so a big mistake a lot of swimmers make is that they just train really hard, but their dolphin kick itself is not very efficient. They're not warming it up correctly. They're not kicking in different planes of motion. So you want to make sure you're kicking on your stomach, you're kicking on your back, on your side, with fins, without fins, with drag socks, with parachute. And by creating all these different stressors of your body, you're able to engage more muscle fibers, and that's how you're going to kick faster underwater. And that's what a fish does naturally. A fish or a dolphin, whatever, they're able to move so fast through the water because literally every part of the fish helps them move forward through the water. I mean, literally a black marlin can move 130 kilometers an hour underwater. I mean, think about that. That is faster than a speedboat. It's faster than anything. How are they able to do that? How is a swordfish able to go 100 kilometers an hour underwater? Because it's able to leverage its entire body length and move through the water like a torpedo. So if you want to be faster at dolphin kick, you have to train every plane of motion and practice, practice, practice.
Going back to what we mentioned earlier in a conversation about keeping things simple, right? If you are doing anything that's sending you in any other direction but forward, you're wasting time. Right, so we see people who are bobbing up and down, they're swimming freestyle, they're crossing over, they're pulling to the side, they're swimming in zigzags, they're going up and down. The only direction we want to swim in is forward. So if you're doing anything apart from setting yourself forward, the chances are you're wasting your time.
We got a question from the fans. You got a race in 3 days. What do I do to go fast?
One word, nothing. Right? If you are 3 days out from your competition, you should have already done all the work. The work is already done. 3 days, again, I say this all the time. Kids, 3 days out, they start eating healthy. They start doing 3 times a week. There's 3 times a day, so they start doing triples. I'm gonna go to training in the morning. I'm gonna do a gym session. I'm gonna start doing an afternoon session. I'm 3 days out. I want to swim fast. That's not how it works. For you to swim fast and for you to have a good competition, the work should have been done 6 months ago. 3 days out, your only goal is to relax. The hard work's been done. Taper, have fun, know that you've worked hard enough. Hopefully, if you haven't, then I mean, the most important thing I like to say is if you get to a competition and you don't get the results you want, the number one question you should always ask yourself is, have I done everything in my power to get the results I wanted? So if the case was you 3 days out asking yourself, oh wait, what can I do now? Well, it's too late. The chances are you haven't worked hard enough in the previous 6 months, right? So 3 days out, to answer your question, enjoy, have fun, and get ready for the competition. There's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do, and there's really nothing I can add on to that because the work has been done. And maybe it wasn't 6 months, but the last 3 months is where the work happened. So what I would say is in the last 3 days leading up to a competition, the best thing that you can do is to live in the moment, to have gratitude for the opportunity to even go to this swimming competition. Even if it's at the same pool that you always train at, just live in that moment. When you step onto the blocks, take a deep breath and just enjoy that experience. Enjoy that moment because it won't last forever. And even if you do swim and you're an old man like me and older, it's still special in that moment.
Yep.
So enjoy the experience, and what's gonna happen is gonna happen regardless of how much pasta you think you need to eat the day before, right? Obviously do the basic things like go to sleep at the same time every day. Stay hydrated, but don't go and drink 3 liters of water when you wake up and do things that you don't normally do.
Yeah. Totally. And just to finish things off, I love the fact that you mentioned the word gratitude. I think this is so important, especially for younger kids out there and even adults. I think it's so important. I mean, I live in Dubai, so I say this all the time. It's like kids, they have a parent, they have mums and dads who are ready to do anything for them. They take them to training, they spend money on their tech suits, and they're ready to do anything. So this is, you're in a situation where, I mean, 95% of, even 99% probably of children in this world don't have the opportunity. You live in Dubai, again, I'm just talking from where I live. But so many kids have this opportunity of, as you mentioned, of racing and going to these meets and meeting new people and just having a coach who's willing to get them better at swimming. So I think gratitude is probably one of the most important things to also making sure you're able to perform. So I love the fact that you said that.
Yeah, and a swimmer who practices gratitude is the best swimmer. And not only that, the best human being. And when you're a good human being, you attract that positive energy, which is only going to help you improve further. So
You just open a can of worms.
live a life of gratitude.
Yeah. I love it. Like I just mentioned, I think you've just opened a can of worms, size. But like with swimming, and again, this is another important lesson for parents, is it's not all about winning. I think the reason why I love swimming is because it's so difficult. Like going to the pool twice a day, doing 10,000 meters, staring at a black line is very, very hard. So the lessons you learn within the sport are the lessons you will take throughout the rest of your life. So the discipline, the hard work, the doing things that you don't want to do and then going and doing them anyway is something that's it's far beyond just swimming, right? So I think, like I said, the swimming is all about life lessons. And even if you don't make it to the Olympics, it's totally fine. You have now come out of the sport with all these life lessons that you didn't have before. And again, I'm in a very similar position now where I tried swimming and I believe that I've done everything I can to try and make it in swimming, but I can now say that I've moved away from the sport and look where I am. I'm in beautiful Egypt with Faris, with all these amazing people, and the only reason I'm here is because of swimming. The person I am today is because of swimming. So it's not all about winning, it's not all about just getting medals. There's so much more in the sport than just that.